What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I just thought about on the way here on the car about job management or time management and what we decide to do when on a farm. A lot of people that are farmers take this for granted that we just kind of know what to do. And if you're not in agriculture or you haven't been doing it that long, you kind of get in a point where you get stuck and you don't really know what goes into priority when. So I'm going to go through that today and show you guys how I decide how to manage our farm. So this right here is your basic 12 months of the year. In here, this red section and this red section is almost unusable time. It's time where it's winter, so a lot of that stuff outside cannot be done. Your basic chores get done, but not much else. So December, I would say late November to December, January, February, March, April, late April, almost into May is unusable time except for chores and snow plowing and all that type of stuff. This right here is your ideal time to get things done outside. You have to watch out for your hay time. So when you have hay to be done, when you have second cut to be done, your cattle sorting and when to take them off the fields for a beef operation that's all grass fed. If you are cash cropping, there is a lot more things to add into that. Then you have when corn is harvested, when wheat is harvested, when beans are harvested, and when mixed grain is harvested. Also, if you're doing alfalfa, there's a lot more hay cuttings. But this gives you a basic idea for me in my in my life. In this red section, you can do indoor jobs on your house. Like for me, where I'm renovating too, you have this section. You can do indoor jobs as long as they're fully inside. You don't want to be doing anything outside because it can create warping and flexing and things become uneven if they're done outside in the cold. So you're limited there. But when it comes to job priority, here's how I go about it and what I do. So number one on the list is time sensitivity. So a job that's time sensitive for me is hay. There's about a week window and you have to really watch on when it's going to rain. So I like to give myself 4 good days of dry hay weather before I cut. That can be pushed a little bit, like I can do it in 3. It's just I like to give myself that day buffer because the weather does change. And speaking of weather is number 2. So weather restricts me in what I do on fields because anybody that doesn't know, if you go on a field that's really wet, you'll tear it up. The tractor tires will just tear it and rut it up, and then you have uneven fields. So I like to do jobs that are inside when it starts raining or if it's snowing, weather permitting. The third one is labor. So me being a one-man operation, I can't really do everything by myself, whether it's a limitation on skill for certain jobs or it's manpower. A lot of the big jobs need to be done by multiple people. So I've been very lucky in our family because we have a large family and we come together to do big jobs. But in that same token, I know that the day that job is getting done, labor jumps ahead of weather. So if it's got to be very, very bad to stop us from doing that job because I only have certain days where I have that type of labor to help me out. So that's how I really decide on how I get jobs done and what we do on a farm. And this came to me today because I walked in on the farm and it's pouring rain, which is great. I love it. I'm excited about it because we need the rain. What I was saying is that basically the weather really permits a lot of it. And that's why weather is so important to agriculture and farming as a whole, is it decides everything. Everything that you do revolves around the weather. Whether you're going to go cut crops, whether you are going to spray or irrigate, whether you are going to apply fertilizer to increase your yield on your crops, whether your cattle are out on your fields grazing, whether they're going to stay out or if they're coming in. In every bit of agriculture just fully revolves around that weather. So it is everything. So they've made a lot of jokes to do with people and farm people, or what I call people not in the city, because they talk about the weather a lot. And that's really why they do, because at the end of the day, it makes the decision on what your whole life is kind of revolved around it. So I know that people, I had friends where when I was a kid and we weren't as big in agriculture, or we weren't like a high yielding farm. We were just a small farm at the time. I had friends where we'd go away for the weekend and everybody'd go out, and they couldn't go because it was hay season, and their parents needed everybody there because that's the short time and the short window on when it can be done. And I thought at the time, I was like, that kind of sucks for them, right? You think they can get the weekend away, relax, go have fun, but they didn't get to do that because of the hay. And now I really, really realize why it's so important, because if they were to go away and say, you know what, we don't need to do that, screw it, there'll be another day. If you lose that day and you lose your hay, that could be the difference between whether you have to sell cattle or you have to sell horses, or the quality's not there, so you're not getting it if you're selling your hay. It could be everything. So thanks again for watching, guys. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. I really enjoy making these videos, and keep watching for more. As I said, let me know what you guys think. I love hearing from everybody. It's been really exciting for me to watch different areas watching my videos. I think it's absolutely incredible that YouTube has allowed us to watch things from around the world. Like, I know I'm seeing a lot of views from people in Europe because I have a Landini tractor, which isn't typical in North America. And that's so cool to see, because that little bit of information, even the silliest thing like me running that tractor, that might be the difference between someone saying, "Oh, I don't like that about that tractor," or me running a Kuhn mower. "Oh, I'm not quite sure about a Kuhn mower. I'd love to see that thing in action." That isn't done by a dealership, because we all know that if a dealership is advertising it, they're advertising the best qualities, and you're not really seeing 100% of what is going to happen in a normal situation, um, a normal scenario of how it runs. Actually, thinking of this, I think I'm going to have a whole video on this, because this has really, really influenced me. But as I said, guys, signing out for another day. Take care. Keep farming.